All right, what is going on, Laker fans? Thank you very much for tuning in. Welcome to the post-game show here on Hoops Talk. I'm Alan Slewa. Hawks over the Lakers, 134 to 132, the final score in OT. Another heartbreaker for the I don't even know if we want to call it a heartbreaker because the other games weren't heartbreakers, but this game specifically definitely was. A game that a couple different times that you thought they had under control. You thought in OT that they had a good enough lead, possession of the ball. All you got to do is just execute a couple things, and you got the Hawks on their heels. Had a couple of chances, a couple of breaks that went their way, and the Los Angeles Lakers find a way to lose another game. They're 2-7 in their last 9 games. I really thought coming into tonight games, I really do. I really did. I thought Lakers were going to win this game. I thought they have been so embarrassed over these last couple of weeks that they would handle business against the Atlanta Hawks. And I guess if you want to find one positive, which trust me, there are no participation awards. There are no trophies for trying hard and coming to work and give it effort. But the Lakers didn't lose this game by 29 or 41 or 27 or 29 points like they have in these last few games over these last couple of weeks. They played a team that had won 5 games in a row. Felt like Lakers were starting to take control of the game in the third quarter. Went up by, I want to say, 11. And then before you know it, Atlanta went on at least an 8-0 run. It might have been more than that. That lead was gone. And then it was kind of back and forth the rest of the way. This is what's not going to be in the post-game presser. Effort, Lakers trying, professionalism. That's not going to be in the post-game presser. But I'll tell you what will be. Carelessness, attention to detail, passes at the end of the game that all you literally have to do is just do these small little things and you finally kind of get a little bit of momentum. Instead, the Lakers lose again. I don't have the record right off my head, but I think it's, or right off the top of my head, but I think it's now 12-11 because they're 2-7. A team that was once 10-4 is now 12-11 and just one game above 500. And I'll look at the standings as we get going in the post-game show. Really tough loss. Really tough loss. Especially, some of those other games that the Lakers play, they're getting their asses kicked. By the time the fourth quarter started, you really didn't pay attention to it. But 134, 132 in overtime, this was a game that hurt because you did have a chance to close it out. This was a game, Anthony Davis, just make a proper pass to LeBron James, and you don't have to worry about that. Okay, let's fast forward a little bit. LeBron makes one of the best blocks of the year. You're only up by 1, and it looks like the Hawks are about to get a layup, and LeBron blocks the ball and kind of hits it down so it goes off Tyson Daniels' hand, and instantly the Lakers review it. You're telling me that you just created a turn, or you just had a turnover. Atlanta should be up 1. You catch the biggest break because of LeBron James, and you still can't execute. AD gets the ball. 3 guys surround him. They don't foul him. They get the jump ball. It's Anthony Davis versus a smaller player. Guys like D'Angelo Russell and Gabe Vincent, those are the 2 guys that I saw. I'd have to see the replay. Don't do the basic things of boxing out during a jump ball to make sure that LeBron or one of these other players gets the ball. The ball goes off LeBron. A miscommunication at the end of the game of who's guarding Trae Young, a miscommunication of who's guarding Trae Young, not one of these other players. We're talking about Trae Young, a dude that could drop 35 on any given night and, of course, has the potential of hitting a 3 from anywhere. He hits a 3, Lakers lose, and here we are standing here. Damn, Friday, December 6th at 7:30, and this squad's 12-11. 2.5 weeks ago. I went to the Lakers-Nuggets game. Maybe it's 3 weeks this weekend. I can't remember. I know they played on a Saturday, whether it was 2 weeks. Within this short span, they're 2-7 in their last 9 games. And even against the Atlanta Hawks, where literally all you have to do is the small things that are taught during middle school, you're going to win this game. And the Lakers found a way to lose. This team is finding different ways to lose every single night. They are finding different ways. And I listen, like I said, this isn't going to be a conversation. We're not going to be talking. By the way, I got one eye on Spectrum here. So as soon as JJ talks, we'll get to it and everything else. But this is not going to be a game where you are questioning their professionalism and they're questioning their effort. but it doesn't really matter. I mean, yes, the questioning the professionalism and effort, that's a big problem. That's a big issue. That's one of the worst things that you can have happen. That's when you're asking, does your coach, is he sending the right message? Are they listening? That's something that you can't have. But they're finding ways to lose. Orlando Magic miss your free throws at the end of the game when you basically got the game on lock. And then this one against Atlanta is going to hurt as well. This was another game that you can add to the list. I'm looking here just because I got some curiosity. What does this do to the Lakers at 12-11 in the standings? They're now down to number 10. So at one point they were sitting at number 3, maybe 2 or 3, something like that. And since this 9-game stretch, they're all the way down to 10 at 12-11. San Antonio's 11-12. Sacramento's 11-13. You're going to be playing them a couple times coming up here. They're right back to, what we've seen over these last couple years, and this one probably doesn't get as frustrating. I'm watching the highlights right now. The highlights are going in the background. First off, let me say this. I'm going to get to some of your comments. Thank you for being a part of the show. If you guys don't mind, after every single Lakers game, I am doing a post-game show like I've done on YouTube for years, like I did on the official Lakers radio broadcast for 5 years as well. But now I'm here 100% exclusively on YouTube, and I'd love for you guys to be a part of the show on a game-to-game basis, on a night-to-night basis, and then my show that I do in the mornings as well. All I ask is please subscribe to the channel. I'm watching the highlights here, and when you're reacting to a game and you guys get the opportunity, you get to see things kind of over and over again. Right now, right when the game ends, I try to get right back in, and I'm telling myself, all right, I want to start the post-game show so, we could get going so you guys don't have to wait around too long and we can, instantly start reacting. In the 2 seconds that I waited before I went live, Spectrum had, they just threw it down. It's Chris McGee, it's Mike Bresnahan, it's James Worthy. And listening to them for that 30 seconds, 1 minute, whatever it was, there was a little bit of like, they don't know what to say, because I don't know what to say, because other Laker fans are like, again, they lost this game? No, but they just had the game. The game was over. All you got to do is make a couple normal passes. All you got to do is box out during a jump ball, and the game is over. That's it. There's nothing else to worry about. There were some questionable decisions in regulation. Bron taking a bad shot. Trae Young took a bad shot. But really, once Max Christie got subbed out, now Lakers were kind of going with a different lineup because he fouled out. And those small little things that you just don't do are going to lead to a W. All right, let me take a quick look here. I want to look at a couple of comments here, and then I'm going to get into some specific players here in just a second. Sir Haro, JJ will lose the locker room today. I don't know. I don't think so. Not in a game like this. I think, this one was a clear way of losing. This one, I can sit here and I could tell you in a loss like this, I could sit back and tell you that there were small things that have big value late in a game. There were small things that you shouldn't be making these type of mistakes towards the end of the game, and the Lakers were doing that. But at least we can point at something specific. I got nothing to point at in the Minnesota game. I got nothing to point at in the game against Denver or the game against Phoenix or the game against the Miami Heat. I got nothing to point at. When you're losing by 25, 30, 41 points, that's, in my opinion, when you lose a locker room. I don't think you lose it in 134, 132 in OT. You had your chances, and you really just made some stupid plays there towards the end, which cost you the game. All right, let's see another one here. By the way, thank you for the super chats. Those that are doing that, I really appreciate it. If you're not throwing in a super chat, I'm going to still try to get the comments, so don't worry about it either way. AD cannot be allowed to have the ball at the end. We have seen it again and again. He will blow it. I really thought I was going to get an opportunity tonight to kind of talk a little bit about Anthony Davis and his game. He ended up with, listen, for how Anthony Davis has been playing, he's had 22 points in his, or maybe it's 20 points total in his last 2 games. He had 38 points, 8 assists, 10 rebounds, couple block shots, a steal. But what killed Anthony Davis, he had 6 turnovers. And really what doomed the Lakers at the end of this game, he had 6 turnovers. Those turnovers were the difference of this game. Those turnovers was the pass that he threw that Tyson Daniels stole the ball on. It was the not securing the ball when you're potentially going to get fouled. You're a 7-footer, hold the ball above your head. Don't bring it down to where all the guards are. And now everybody, that ball is exposed. Obviously that's a turnover right there. It eventually turns into a turnover. His 6 turnovers, laziness, clumsy, whatever you want to call it. And I saw a couple comments there, so I'm taking a couple of these words from you guys. However you want to describe it, cost the Lakers that game. It was those late decisions by Anthony Davis that really hurt the Lakers. I mean, in seeing the highlights right now, here's Gabe Vincent pulling up for 3. Lakers went up by 3 with about 1:40 left. It was probably the best game that we've seen Gabe Vincent play with the Lakers. Here's Anthony Davis with a tough shot, a fadeaway, about an 18-footer from LeBron, throws the ball behind the back. I thought I was going to be able to compliment some of these guys tonight. I thought I was going to say, hey, listen, at least with everything that's gone on, maybe they can go on a 2-game winning streak. I'm watching AD's lazy pass here and then LeBron with the block. And then they got a second chance. It was actually a genius move to challenge the play. I didn't even think about that, but they had a challenge. They used it, and LeBron got the block. But then they throw the ball into Anthony Davis. He just stands there, puts the ball low. There's 3 guys that can now, you put the ball down in front of all these other players. Of course they're going to tip the ball out, or of course they're going to jump ball. And then it was just really poor execution. You have 3 Lakers, 1 hot guy fighting 3 Lakers for the possession. Trae Young eventually gets the ball. Nobody's on him. Nobody rotates. There's a 3. There's your ball game. LeBron tried taking a shot right there at the end. Obviously, it doesn't go in. He takes about a 28, 29, 30-footer, whatever it was, and that was it. Lakers win 134, 132. The Anthony Davis piece of it, I see where you're coming from on that. I hear what you're saying, but I think at the end of the day, for me, with Anthony Davis, the 6 turnovers is what killed the Lakers. All right, here's another one here. Thank you again for the super. Lakers stuff, way too much. Always leave shooters open for 3. I think that's the stuff. Happy with the defensive rotation and leave Gabe as a starter, please. He at least fights. I guess if we take one thing out of tonight's game, Gabe Vincent was actually very valuable for the Lakers tonight, whether it was on the defensive side, whether it was hitting some big shots. He had that shot in the down the baseline, just a beautiful shot over. I don't know if it was Clint Capella that came on him, but maybe a 12, 14-footer, high arcing shot, hit nothing but nylon, hit the 3 with a minute and a half left in overtime. He had a couple big shots. I don't know if he's going to be in the starting role, but I know that, unfortunately, we won't be talking too much about what he was able to do because it was another L. LeBron tonight, 39, 11, and 10, 14 of 24 from the field, 6 of 10 from the 3-point line. LeBron and Anthony Davis total had 10 turnovers. Your two top dudes. If you guys listen to my show this morning, I thought Lakers were going to beat the Hawks. I really did. I genuinely thought, I'm like, they're going to win this game. Even when, the third quarter, fourth quarter, it's kind of back and forth. It felt like the vibe of this game, I think Lakers are going to pull out. I think Lakers are going to make it happen. Clearly, they didn't make it happen. But one of the things that I mentioned, LeBron and Anthony Davis every single night, I'm not telling you they're going to give you 38 and 39 and, 8 assists and 11 assists and each with 10 rebounds. That's a remarkable night from both of them. But what I will tell you is they got to be there every single night. And part of the reason why the Lakers were getting blown out as much as they were, the 4 games that they had, or Bron had a stretch of 4 games was some of the worst 4 games I've ever seen him play in his career. Shooting percentage down, 0-19 from the 3-point line. A lot of the turnovers that he'd been committing. Anthony Davis, I've spent plenty of time talking about what's going on with AD. I genuinely don't know what was happening with him. Maybe I've heard Stu Lance talk a little bit about this. Plantar fasciitis. I know I mispronounced that. But that's something that, he mentioned it. So I'm just assuming maybe he's dealing with that. And that's some of the reason why he hasn't been able to be aggressive or be the player that we're accustomed to. Because it's really odd seeing how bad he's been over these last 2 weeks or how inconsistent that he's been. Maybe he has a night, here and there where he's not playing well. But overall, that's not typically the case when you see Anthony Davis. Those 2 players put up big numbers for the Lakers, which gave them a chance in this game. If they don't put up big numbers, then they don't really have a chance in any of these games. I'm going to keep going down the list, just kind of pointing out a few guys. Connect gave you 14 tonight. It was nice to actually see him involved. 6 of 11 from the field. I mentioned Gabe Vincent played 34 minutes for the Lakers. Rui was pretty good offensively as well. 5 of 6 from the field, 12 points, 9 rebounds. And then Max Christie gave you 9 points, and D'Angelo Russell just 3 of 9 from the field, gave you 8 points. I got a couple thoughts here, and I'm going to just real quick here as we keep going. You know what's crazy with the Lakers? You got a game, they score 80. You got another game, they score 93. You got another game where they score 132. Like they're so all over the place. The one thing, unfortunately, for the Lakers, they don't play defense consistently. And when it's tough to get stops, when you're relying just on your offense, when it's our shots just didn't fall, it's a miss or make league, you're gonna lose a lot of games. And even tonight, even if they had won the game, I would have made mention of their defense. Defense got to be better. Still too many layups. Still, you got too many guys getting to the basket. 134 to Atlanta. Granted, it's an OT. It's still 134 that they gave up to the Atlanta Hawks. It looks like they're going to JJ, so we're going to go to JJ here real quick. Let's take a quick listen, see what JJ's got to say about the loss. Set this up here real quick. Audio coming. Here we go.
Different type scenario than the Orlando game, but certainly frustrated with late game execution. Turnover. Braun makes a great play to get the block.
Save the game.
Wasn't exactly the right sort of angles and screening that we had sort of done many times, in practice, one of our end game, get the ball in plays. And I think the concern when you run that is when AD comes back towards half court, that's not what you want ideally, because then he's sort of in a trappable spot versus catching it in the middle of the floor. And then, they did a good job just in pursuit of the basketball on the jump ball. And then, I don't know if it was the communication or whatnot, but, you can't – we messed up the red with Trae Young. Left him open, so.
So are you wanting to blitz him there to get the ball out of his hands ideally, or?
It was discussed with the group. Yeah, no, we weren't. It's just a normal red scenario like he would do a million times in game. Thought Gabe defensively was really good. I thought a lot of our guys
one
really
bright spot
on that end.
Vincent.
Trey's tough. He's not the size of some of the bigger players like Luka or LeBron or Joker, but he knows how to manipulate a defense. He's a really good player.
JJ, you mentioned Gabe. You gave him the start tonight. What went into putting him in the starting lineup, and how much was that matchup dependent, going against Trae?
Yeah, it just felt like, again, we debated back and forth. Do we want to play coverage? Do we want to be in switching? And, I think he was 9 for 25. I think the thought process was, that staying out of coverage and out of drop where he's just, throwing the ball over the place and getting 18 assists was not the right option. And then he's 20. So didn't do a great job of our Reds in general. Thought when we did it, it was solid and we kept people in front of us. But,
damn, I didn't even notice it. Trae Young, 20 assists.
We talk all the time too.
31 and 20 for Trae Young.
We always, the whole season, I've had switching groups, and if you still need a low man, and I don't think we were great with our low man tonight. Had a couple good low mans, but didn't have good low mans.
All right, let me hear this next question. Nope, not happening. All right, I was going to see if there was a good question. They're done, so we're done on that. Trae Young with 20 dimes tonight for the Atlanta Hawks. I had no freaking idea that dude had 20 assists tonight. I was looking something up here when JJ was talking. I was talking about defensively for the Lakers. They're all over the place offensively, right? You had a game that you scored 80, a game that you scored 93. The loss against the Thunder, they scored 93. So they're all over the place. Against the Suns, they put up 100. Against the Nuggets, they put up 102. I don't know what they're going to give offensively. I know LeBron and Anthony Davis basically have to be great every single night in order for them to have a shot. By the way, you know how I can tell you that is because Lakers don't have a bench and they don't have any depth. If the idea was, hey, well, maybe if we put D'Angelo Russell and we have him come off the bench, I don't know what D'Lo's going to give you. He could drop 20 or he could give you 8 like he did tonight and go 3 for 9. That's just kind of his game this year. Atlanta, 46, 56, 66. They're probably around 65, 66 points from their bench alone. That's what they did. And then Trae Young had the 31 and 20. Defensively for the Lakers, look at these games that the Lakers have lost. Give up 134 to the Hawks, 134 to the Heat, 109 to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Not that bad, but your squad only scored 80 that game. They gave up 127 to the Suns, 127 to the Nuggets, 119 to the Orlando Magic. Guys, I don't got to tell you this. One of the things I love about this channel is a lot of the people that spend time on this channel, they know basketball. And I don't have to explain this to anybody. You don't play defense, you don't got a shot in the league. You don't. You could try to put up 130 every night. That's not going to happen. And all those teams that you might look at back in the day and say, oh, no, come on, look at the Golden State Warriors, Steph and Clay. They locked down and got stops when they needed to. Showtime era. Every time I talk to Michael Thompson about the Showtime era, he's like, all people remember about the Showtime era is Magic with a no-look pass or James Worthy with a beautiful dunk or Kareem with a sky hook. He said, go watch what we used to do on defense, lockdown defense. Boston Celtics won last year. They were amazing on offense. They locked your ass down on defense. You can't play defense. I don't know how you're going to compete in this league. And the Lakers in these losses that they're playing, I don't know what they're going to give you on offense. Maybe they're going to give you 93. Maybe they're going to give you 80. Maybe they're going to drop 132 like they did tonight. But defensively for the Lakers, that is obviously a real problem, a real issue, and I don't know if that's going anywhere anytime soon. All right, a couple more of these here. Let's go to David Sabatini. David, thank you for the super here. I appreciate it. Terrible shot by LeBron coming out of a timeout with 53 seconds left. Launches up a logo 3. Do you really think JJ wanted that shot? It's funny. I was texting with a couple of my cousins during the game, and instantly when that shot went up, I'm like, I'm probably going to get a text. If they're not going to text me, I'm going to text them. You're 100% right. You're coming out of a timeout. It's a big possession. It's a 1-point game. You're only up 1. What are you going to do with the ball? I don't think that the possession was fire up a 30-footer. I don't think that was the right shot. And I think there were still 7-8 seconds on the shot clock. So it's not like they necessarily had to rush it. But let me give you an example here. At the end of regulation, what Trae Young do? He dribbled the ball for 10 seconds and then took a shot over Max Christie and got the shot blocked. Both of those shots were terrible. And obviously both of those shots coming from one of the stars from the Atlanta Hawks and one of the stars from LeBron. Did you guys notice this? Thank you for the super, David. I appreciate it. By the way, a couple other supers here. Thank you very much. I appreciate the support of the channel. Let me get one more in here, and then I got something I want to throw out to Laker fans real quick. Laker fan base doesn't deserve this from the front office, the ownership of the players. Yeah, listen, you guys are watching the game. Atlanta is – how many Laker fans are in Atlanta? They're everywhere. Laker fans are in Memphis. They're in Atlanta. You name it. They're certainly representing from every part. I just want to see what the plan is for this team, and right now I don't really know that. Here's Bron.
For you guys in terms of like resetting.
No, we actually leave Thursday. So it's not a week. We leave Thursday, go to Minnesota. So one game for one. We're home for one game and then leaving a few more days after that.
LeBron, you're 39, almost 40, 39-point triple-double. You think the fans are really appreciating what you're able to still do?
I don't know. just go out there and just play the game the right way, compete at a high level, and leave it all on the floor every time I go out there. My time is very limited on how long I'll play, so I'm just happy to still be able to play the game that I love.
Gabe drew to start for you guys tonight. Had one of his more productive games since joining the team last year. What I guess did you see from him out there tonight, and what can I guess that version of
He just played well. He played well. Got the start now. He played well.
Last question.
Obviously,
Get this final one.
is frustrating.
Excuse me.
What's it going to take for this team to get over the hump? Where are you seeing not enough coming from?
We have about 5 guys in our top 11 not in uniform. We're mixed matching with lineups. We're trying to figure out ways, obviously. So it's very challenging. We don't have much room for error. I said that in the beginning of the season. So when you have 5 guys, when you have AR out, Vando out, Seawood has not played this year, Jackson, so it's big pieces, so I don't know as far as what will help us get over the hump. We just got to just not drown, don't drown and we'll be all right.
Thanks.
All right, I'm gonna stop it right there. That's an interesting conversation in itself, right there. It's actually a good one to talk about here. How much of you guys agree with what LeBron just said right there? How much of you guys agree with, hey, the problem is that they're missing role players? There's some truth to that. Listen, not having Austin Reeves in a game is a big deal. Not having Jared Vanderbilt in a game is a big deal. I thought Christian Wood would be able to do some things. Jackson Hayes, okay, he's just there to give you some minutes, rim protect, run the court, everything else. I don't think Bron is wrong when it comes to that. Here's the problem with Bron's assessment in that. The issue is, I don't think there's ever an excuse to do what's happened to the Lakers over these last 2 weeks. I don't think there's an excuse to lose the way that they had. I don't think there's any excuse out there, whoever you have, to be questioning the professionalism, the effort, all that stuff. So that in itself is a completely different problem, a completely different issue. So I don't 100% agree with LeBron on what he's saying, because I've heard the Lakers say what they're talking about in regards to this is a team that's just not trying hard enough. Okay, that's one thing. The second thing is, Austin Reeves was in that game against the Denver Nuggets, against the Orlando Magic. When this streak started, where the Lakers started losing game, Austin Reeves was there for Orlando, Denver, and Phoenix, 3 of the games. And then he was in there. He closed out the game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And then the Lakers eventually decided, all right, this guy's not healthy. We got to get him out of the lineup. To an extent, he's right. But I think they're also showing that they're not that good of a basketball team. So this is not just injury. Injury plays a part of it, but I don't think injury by no means says the whole story by any stretch of the imagination. So that's the one thing I will say. Can the Lakers make some excuses because of the injuries? Yes. But can you lose 2 games by 70 points total, or 6 games by over 20 just because of the injuries and LeBron and Anthony Davis are there? You got your 2 stars. Gabe, you know why we're bragging about Gabe Vincent's night tonight? You want to know why we're bragging about it? Is because he's been so bad since he signed that contract with the Lakers, or he's been unavailable. And we're making a big deal about Gabe Vincent putting up a total of 12 points and 5 assists. And we're making it sound like Gabe Vincent had 30. The roster, you got guys that you were depending on that are not coming through. You got role players that haven't been good. You got bench players that you definitely can't rely on. You got late game execution plays. Tonight, as an example, did Vando or Christian Wood or Austin Reeves or any of these other players affect that pass Anthony Davis was making to Bron? Did any of those injuries, did any of that have anything to do with not boxing out when you're trying to get a jump ball? So I get it to an extent, but you started 10-4. Most of those players weren't there anyways, and nobody was talking about them. And here you are now 2-7 in your last 9 games. And Reeves was there for some of those games. Mentioning them now, I don't know how crazy I am about that. And that's not to say that he's not wrong. I mean, or that's not to say he's wrong. That's just to say, I don't know if those are the excuses that I'm looking at. Not good enough. That's it. Bron had a triple dub. Bron and AD had about 40. What else do you need? Tony, it's a good point. I mean, shit, if they can't beat Atlanta when you get those kind of numbers from LeBron James and Anthony Davis, yeah, that's going to be an issue. That's going to be an issue. All right, let's see what else we have here. Every team has injuries. Dalton's sanity is over. I actually liked him tonight. I didn't think he was bad tonight. I thought he actually contributed tonight. But you are right about that. I mean, I was pumping out content about Dalton Connect like literally probably 3 or 4 videos a week just on Dalton Connect because of what he was doing. And I was doing it because that's what you guys wanted to listen to. And it's also, I was excited about him. And that certainly has quieted down. All right, let's see some more comments here. 10th Lakers, only a game ahead of the Spurs. Yep. All right, let's keep going here. Yeah, only in the standings right now, if you look, they are literally exactly that. They're in the 10th spot and a half game or maybe a game ahead of the San Antonio Spurs. Look how quick that traded or that changed. Okay, here's another one. Start the trade parade already. Al, this team was already struggling. Now throw a heartbreak loss like this into the mix. Yeah, listen. This one hurt. Listening to James Worthy, Stu Lance, I think all of them sensed that, well, this one's going to hurt because the effort was there. You did a lot of, you did a lot of good things to try to win the game, and you still ended up losing. All right, Lakers schedule. Here's what they got coming up their next 5 games. Portland on Sunday. I'm going to be there. I'll get a chance to be at Crypto. I'll do the post-game show from there. And then look at this. Doesn't get any easier. Minnesota, Memphis, Sacramento, and Sacramento. Both of those games against Sacramento will be on the road. I don't know if that game, I think Minnesota's on the road as well. Memphis, I believe, is in LA just based on the NBA Cup and, the way the scheduling kind of changed. So a lot of interesting stuff there in my eyes. The schedule is not going to get any easier. It's only going to get tougher for the Lakers. Teams in the Western Conference that actually, are legit teams in the West. If they smell some blood, they're going to go with the Lakers. And you guys know this better than anybody else. Teams love playing the Los Angeles Lakers and love beating the Lakers. All right, let's keep seeing some of these comments here. All right. Let's see. Fire JJ, trade LeBron and Bronny. Go get some players that can play both sides of the ball. JJ's not going to get fired. Trading LeBron is not going to happen. I don't think so, unless Bron decided, hey, you know what? I can't win here. Why don't I just move on? Let's see what else we have here. A couple more. This won't be as long as a post game as I typically do. I got places to go, people. All right, let's get a couple more here. The one other thing I was looking at, I was going to get into a little bit earlier. I didn't get a chance to. Can I just ask you guys a question? The game of basketball with these replays, how long did the fourth quarter and overtime take? I mean, you want to talk about just taking any excitement out of the game. My God. Do you remember the days where you could just watch a game and the ball is moving up and down the floor and there weren't all that many timeouts called? If the timeouts were called, they were very strategic. They were 20-second timeouts and it was right back into the action. All the replays that were going on, all the timeouts that were going on, they just kill the flow of the game. Just kills the flow of the game. The game of basketball is an exciting brand. It's up and down. It's fast-paced. Guys are shooting threes. Guys are getting to the basket. Lobs are being thrown. Rebounds. Guy goes the length of the court. All that stuff is what makes the game so good and so exciting. What the hell? How many times are they going to stop the game to check a replay, to this, the challenge, to that? And everything takes so long. I heard Stu Lance talking about this. It might have been the last game. And he said, why don't they just do literally a shot clock? You get 24 seconds or 30 seconds to review it. If you can't make a decision after those 30 seconds, all good, no problem. Just stay with the call on the floor and let's move the hell on. They're killing the game with all this stoppage that happens. And maybe I sound, I hope people kind of feel the same vibe I am. Go ahead and replay you have your replays, all that. I'm okay with all that. There's just a way to speed some of this stuff up. That fourth quarter in overtime was brutal. Absolutely brutal. Took so long to get into. Okay. I got one more interview that we're going to get into. Max Christie, I thought, was very helpful for the Lakers tonight. I thought he did well. Let's get his quick thoughts on the game.
Yeah, like you said, I think if you're looking at it from a process standpoint, this was a good bounce back for us. I thought us as a cohesive unit was a lot better than Miami or previously on the road trip. I thought our communication was better. I think we did enough to win the game. They hit a big shot at the end. But overall, I think from a process standpoint, this is a good step in the right direction.
Just take us through the possession on trade, the end of regulation when you get the block.
Yeah, I think they were running Bogdanovich or something into a kind of a ghost screen where we did a good job communicating, so I just stayed on him. And I'm looking behind, the clock's kind of ticking down. He's beyond the 4-point line, so I know he's got to do some sort of step back, something crazy. So I was able to anticipate it. Kind of gave me a little in and out to step back, and I was able to anticipate the block.
You ended up fouling out Noti.
One more last question.
Kind of just the way that the whistle was going throughout the night for you.
It was a physical game, to be honest. And I think JJ made that point too. He wanted us to be physical, and I think I did a good job of that. Obviously, I fouled out maybe a little bit too much, but on that last play, I just closed out really hard. DeAndre Hunter is shooting it really well. He shot it really well tonight, so I kind of wanted to close out to him, make him put it on the ground, and kind of close out a little too recklessly, and he bumped into me, fell down. So it is what it is.
When the team is in the stretch where you guys have lost 7 and 9,
last one.
How tough is it to view things in a process standpoint when the immediate gratification? Like, I mean, you can sense the energy in here. I mean, you guys need to win.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. I mean, it's difficult. Obviously, we all want to win. That's all what we're here for. But I think over some reflection and watching film, and I think even tomorrow we'll see, and when we're watching film, that we got better. I think from previous games on this road trip, and just looking at a process standpoint, we took a step in the right direction when the outcome wasn't there. So that's all we can ask for, to be honest. Obviously, we wanted to win, but I think this game will serve us in the future.
All right, that's Max Christie. Can I just tell you something? By the way, I'm a fan of that dude. He's easy to cheer for. The guy clearly, I think, has got the right mentality. Does he make mistakes? Is the guy got a long way to go? Absolutely, he does. I'm not questioning that at all. But I'm a fan. I'm never going to question that dude's effort. He's going to do the small things. He's going to try to play defense. He's going to try to box out. He's going to do all that stuff. But think about what he just said. And maybe because he's so young and just doesn't really know what's going on yet, they took a step in the right direction. They lost against Atlanta, and they're 2-7, and they lost in overtime. If hypothetically, again, he's super young, so I'm sure he's figuring out things as he goes. If he thinks tonight was a step in the right direction because they only lost in overtime by 2 points to the Atlanta Hawks, Lakers, they're in some trouble. They're in some trouble. It's the truth. They're definitely in some trouble if that's going to be the case. Again, I think he's got the right intentions, what he's saying and everything else. But from my perspective, I don't think they can walk away today. And that flight back home, they went 1-4, 1-3 on the road trip. They're 2-7 in their last 9. They're 12-11 after starting 10-4, and anybody could feel good about themselves. All right, here's another super here. Thank you very much for the super. There's truth to what Braun said, but it's the same roster from in-season tournament Western Conference Finals. Those guys he mentioned weren't full-time there either. There is some truth to Braun, but I think I go back to what my last point was. And for those who are just tuning in right now, it was Braun that was saying we're missing 5 key guys on this team. He's talking about Jackson Hayes, Austin Reeves, Jared Vanderbilt, Christian Wood. Maybe I'm missing one, or maybe he meant 4. Either way, the Lakers over the last 2.5 weeks was some of the worst basketball I've ever seen. They've been questioned with their professionalism. They've been questioned with their effort. This isn't just guys are missing. There were other problems that it looked like that were appearing. They started out 10-4 without most of those guys that I just mentioned. So it's really just adjustments that other teams are making. It's the Lakers not doing what they need to do. Get one more in here, and then we're going to call it a night. See what we got here. The reason Trae Young works, though, is because he's surrounded with defenders. Trae Young dropped 20 dimes on the Lakers tonight. I think I was listening to the broadcast. 12 assists a game, 12 assists, something like that. So that dude is making it happen there. I don't know what their 60-plus points from the bench for the Atlanta Hawks. What is Atlanta's record? To be honest with you, I'm not even sure what their record is now. 13-11. Won 6 games in a row. They're 5th place in the West or in the East. So they're getting it done. They're starting to make things happen for them. For the Lakers, lost 3 in a row. Portland coming up on Sunday. That's a 6:30 tip-off. I will be at the game, like I mentioned. Right after the game is done, I'll go live from Crypto.com Arena, get a chance to react to the game. Hopefully a team that's sitting at 8-14, that's a W on Sunday. It has to be a W. We'll see what eventually happens. I appreciate you guys hanging out for 40-plus minutes or so. Thank you for being a part of the show. I'll just mention it one time. If you can please subscribe to the channel, like the videos, comments, do all that. I really don't even need to say any of that. I know a lot of people do it anyways, but part of my job to make mention of it. If you could do that, certainly helps the channel. Thank you for being a part of the show. I hope you guys enjoy your Friday night. I hope you guys enjoy Saturday. Some good college football tomorrow, my people. Got a little SEC championship, Big Ten, the ACC. We've got some good college football tomorrow. Unfortunately, it won't be off a Laker W. I'm back on Sunday. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night, and thank you for hanging out and being a part of the show.